We are at Starbucks with author, not officer. Oh my gosh, this is like the 10th take. Author Jennifer Miller, author of Pretty Little Lies, doing an interview. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello. You're awesome at this.
We're so good. Okay, question 1.
Yes.
When did you know that you had the idea and had to start writing it?
When did I have the idea? I thought that I had the idea a few years ago, actually. I wanted to write this paranormal story that I had all mapped out, except I could not figure out the why it was all happening, which, kind of important for a book. So I kind of just gave up. I've always thought that I would be a good writer, that I could write a story, and always wanted to, but when that didn't end up panning out, I thought that I would just forget it and just keep reading and blogging and reviewing. And then kind of out of nowhere, I just got an idea that would not leave me alone, pretty much. Just kind of kept hammering at my brain, and to the point to where I had no choice but to just start writing down my thoughts. And once I started doing that, it just took on a life of its own and turned into a novel, I guess. So yeah, it wasn't like, I guess it just happened over time where it just, like I said, it wouldn't leave me alone, kept percolating. I even got on Pinterest and started making a board of characters and places that I knew would be in there, and once that happened, you and I started meeting and kicking back ideas back and forth and asking your opinion on things, and I would just start writing what we talked about, and before I knew it, I was writing a novel.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay. Question 2. What was the scene that was the most fun for you to write?
The scene that was the most fun for me to write is probably when, well, let me give you a little bit of background. Piper is Olivia's best friend. Olivia is the main character. And Piper encourages Olivia to get out in the dating field again and meet people. And one of the things that Piper signs them up to do without asking Olivia first is speed dating. So they both go to a speed dating event, and let's just say Olivia has a few glasses of wine before the speed dating event to calm her nerves, and also drinks while she's there as well. And some interesting things happen. Let's just say basically she gets word vomits, and as she's meeting people, basically says the exact opposite of what you would want to say when you're meeting people for the first time, that then leads to ultimately a breakdown, which was a lot of fun to write. Yeah.
Which scene was the hardest to write?
The scenes that are the hardest to write for me are the steamy scenes, and I'll tell you why. It's because, well, I want to get detailed without being graphic, because I want the reader to feel what the character is feeling. But for me, the hard part is letting the reader feel the emotions instead of me telling you what's happening. Georgia, who was my beta, was very instrumental in helping me with that, because it was very easy to say that something was erotic instead of describing it that way. And I think that that's, for me, one of the biggest challenges of writing, is being sure to show it and not tell it.
Okay. If you could hang out with Olivia and Piper for the day, what would you guys do?
We would go shopping. Hands down. Probably what I do with my own friends when we have fun girls' days. Probably go and have lunch, maybe get pedicures together, and go shopping. Like shopping for a new handbag or something.
Ooh, I like it.
hoping to release book 2 in December, possibly this year, at the latest January next year. So just 6 months or so, not too long.
Cool. All right, I'm going to stop this recording just because YouTube sucks and only lets you put up a certain amount. And then hold up your butt. Hold up your butt. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back with the second half.
Okay.